we're sitting here waiting to go across the bridge to Emerald Isle right now. There's doing work on the bridge, and there's a guy holding a stop sign up there, so we'll be on our way in a moment. I don't know, seeing all the cars escaping from Emerald Isle on a Saturday afternoon, that I'm not sure I want to go out there myself. It looks like they're running from a zombie apocalypse or something. Well, Jill, this was a really good idea.
Who knew?
Well, at least when we finally get out there, there should be nobody left.
I know, no crowds.
We'll be able to find a place to park. Okay, it's 4 hours later now.
We're still waiting.
They're still pouring across that bridge from Emerald Isle.
Must be 2 miles. It's 2 miles across the bridge. Gee, must be 2 miles of cars.
At least. Okay, 3 days later, and it looks like we finally got to the end of the line.
I don't know. There goes another car waiting.
Oh no, here comes another one.
Crap.
All right, it's a week and a half later, and we're finally on the move. Gonna go over this bridge if it kills us.
Part of the Intercoastal Waterway.
Yeah, the B. Cameron Langston Bridge to Emerald Isle.
Hi, I'm Jill.
And I'm John.
And we're the Geezers on the Go.
Go, go, go!
This time we're at Cedar Point Campground in the Croatan National Forest along North Carolina's Crystal Coast. It's a small campground with 36 spacious sites, full electrical hookups, and access to lots of tourist attractions, like forts and islands and wild horses too. In addition to showing you the campground, we'll take a run out to Emerald Isle, if we can ever get over that bridge. And we'll stop off at Fort Macon, one of the most popular sightseeing destinations in North Carolina. Up the coast a bit, we'll also visit the North Carolina Maritime Museum. And finally, we'll get a glimpse of some wild horses whose ancestors go back to the 1500s. We're at Cedar Point Campground in the Croatan National Forest near Swansboro, North Carolina. It's about mid-January, a little chilly today. We're in site number 20. We have one of the few, I think if only, pull-through sites. We were here once before, around 3 years ago in November, and we liked this one. This was available, so I said, okay, let's take it again. And as you can see, it's a very good sized site. And then you come around the back here, and big picnic areas, picnic table area with lots of trees. And there's a little trail back there, picnic table, two of those little hook things for either hanging your food or lights. And it's a very pretty site, very pretty campground. The campground is just one basic big loop. They also have buddy sites, so right, like you can see over there, two sites right next to each other. And some of the sites, they back up into the trees. And some of them are in the middle here. There's a big open area so that if you had kids or you wanted to stretch out a little bit, you have lots of grass. There are about 30 sites in this campground. Almost just about all of them are back ends except for our one pull through. And like I said, they have electric. And it's one of the few campgrounds now that you can drive up to and stay, at least this time of the year, they have a lot of first come, first serve. Our campsite happened to be a reservation, so we had made reservations. Maybe because it's a little nicer pull through. But a lot of the sites just say this site is available, and then you go up where one of the camp hosts are and pay your money. So which is pretty good if you're just on the road and want to stay a night or two and didn't make any reservations. You could do that. See if you could see right here, it says available, see camp host. Up here at, I think it's 26 and 27. Again, these are, I would say, consider buddy sites because you're right next to each other. So if you had two families wanted to come, or some friends. Last time we were here, they were a couple of families here playing ball and having a good time. So these look like 26 and 27. You could have some fun. And like I said, one big loop. And a lot of space between each site, so you don't feel cramped or anything. Although it's Martin Luther King weekend, the campground is not very full. I wouldn't even say it's half full. But then again, it's kind of chilly. But still, people like to camp on holiday weekends. But you can see lots of trees. All the sites are paved. And there's just just electric here. You have to fill up your water tank, and there's no sewer. Campground does have a dump station, so even there's no sewer, you wouldn't have to worry. And if you stayed, I think you're allowed to stay 14 nights. If you had your poop trolley, it would be very easy to come and dump over here because it's very flat and not very far. It's located right in the middle of the campground. Also in the middle is the bathhouse, where they have to have showers and regular bathroom. The only problem is, I found is that the bathroom is heated, but if you wanted to take a shower, it's not. And right now it's only about 40 degrees, so it would be a bit chilly taking a shower right now. But I guess you get what you want. It's a national forest, and sometimes they don't always have as many facilities as other parks. But we like them because it's lots of trees, and for us it's a little less expensive, because they accept the Senior National Parks Pass, so we get it for a little, more than half price, so that's pretty good. I guess this is where you would come back and pay if you were just going to stop for the night. This is also one of the camp hosts, so you probably could check in there and make sure and then pay your money. There are these water spigots located around the park. Some you have to check. Some have places where you can actually hook up your hose to and fill up. So you just have to check which ones are available to fill up your water tanks. Like I said, lots of big space here. And if you had a bigger rig, you wouldn't have to worry about coming here. That's a pretty good size motor home. And right down next to it is a very big fifth wheel. That was site 1, that's site 2. This is right at the front of the park. This is site number 10. It'd be nice to have a lot of space here. Nobody way next to you to way over here. Backs up to the trees, into the woods over here. So you'd have a nice big area for yourself. This is site 11, which is another really big site. There's nobody on this side here because of all the trees in the woods. And you come around the other side here. This guy's got 2 cars parked, and look at all the space you have before the next tent site. That guy's set up pretty good. He's got solar panels and everything. Yeah, like I said, he's got a big space, and look at where the next campsite is. It's way over there. So, great place Cedar Point, great place to spread out and have this as a home base to go visit Emerald Isle. One more little swoop around here. This is site 16, so you got lots of space, and it goes around the circle to the far end of the campground campground, which is, I guess it'd be 18 and 19 where the buddy sites are. And there we are, right across the little green space. We're going out of the campground, and just a short little way down to the left, see there's the sign, and down that way is a boat launch and some trails, and there's somebody going down there, so I'll show you. It's not very far. Yeah, here's the area where you can park your boat. In fact, it has designated spots. It says for trailers only, and it's just a short little way down to the boat launch. It looks like somebody might be coming in, some little boat. We'll see. But there's some trails along the lake, the water here, and you could probably fish right off the dock over here. Not a real wide boat launch, but enough. I think it's more for kayaks and small boats, but there's somebody fishing right there, if I can get him. There he is. This is called Bogue Sound. It's sort of in between where we are here at Cedar Point and Emerald Isle. A lot of good spots for boating. Water looks kind of that cedar color, kind of brownish. But it's beautiful out here. Down here where the boat launch area is, and there's also a trail goes out from here, there's also a day use area, so if you came down for the day, did some kayaking, you could also come and have a little picnic. There's some tables that you can sit and be sitting right by the water, which is right on the other side of these bushes, so it could make for a fun day. This campground is really nice. It's kind of secluded. It's not real big. I think it only has about 40 sites, and they're really big sites.
Yeah, and it's a real pretty place too. I mean, it's just you know, out here in the middle of nowhere. What you would kind of expect from being in a national forest, I guess. Right, and it just has electric, but it's real easy to go fill up your tank over by the dump station, so that's no problem. And the campground is right along Bogue Sound, and there's a boat launch just maybe less than a mile from the campground, where you could either launch a small boat, kayaks, and go fishing. Plus, it's a really cool trail there. It's called the Tideland Trail, and it goes maybe about a mile or so around the marshlands and stuff. Real pretty. And one guy said if you went all the way to the end in season, you could dig for clams. Wow. I'd like to do that. I don't think we're in season though. This is January. Right. They used to say when I was a kid growing up, digging for clams anyway, you couldn't dig for clams during a month that had an R in it. But I don't know if it's... But we're also close to Emerald Isle, which is only about a short drive over the bridge, and it's Emerald Isle is not very commercial. There are places you can go out to the beach and go swimming, so you could take a trip out there, and there's a few restaurants. Yeah, and we got to go to the North Carolina Maritime Museum, which was kind of cool, and Fort Macon. Fort Macon. Right, Fort Macon is on the north end of Emerald Isle, and the Maritime Museum is just over the bridge, a short ways in what was the name of the town? Beaufort. Beaufort, yeah. Right. And we're going to take you out and show it to you. Yeah. But first, let's take a look at that Tideland Trail. Just one of many hiking trails at Cedar Point. Right off the parking lot here, down there was where the boat launch is. You come over here, there's a little comfort station, and then it leads out to where is the Cedar Point Tideland Trail. It's a little hard to read the sign because it's a big white bird on here. Just out from here, the trail goes. Again, a little bit hard to see the sign because of the shadows, but it says, "Welcome to Cedar Point Tideland Trails." And I just talked with somebody who came out and said, it's a very nice trail, very pretty, and I think it says it's 1.3 loop that goes along the White Oak River. And they said if you go through some of the stuff through here, said you can find some oysters and other things, and very pretty. Okay, just
Walking down the trail a little bit here, looks like there's a cool walkway across the marsh. Cedar Point is bordered by both coastal forest and salt marsh, which provides habitat for a lot of the commercial seafood sold in the area. Well, there's more trails that way, or I can go this way, and I think this one might take me back over to that other bridge again. So maybe we'll try this direction. In this one little walkway, there's a little sign here that says, if you look at, there's ditches, and they made these hoping to stop the mosquitoes for this area. They said that they thought they'd dig these ditches that the water runoff would clear out faster and keep the mosquitoes down. Unfortunately, they said it didn't work. There's still mosquitoes. Just over the bridge from our campground, about 2 miles away, lies Emerald Isle. It's about 13 miles long and a half a mile wide, forming one of the barrier islands of North Carolina. And it's considered to have some of the clearest waters on the entire coast. Gee whiz, nobody's swimming. I wonder why. Kind of cold today. It's only about a little more than 40 degrees and very windy. Mid-January. Take a look down the beach there. You can see all the cool houses. If you had lots of money, win the big lottery. The only thing I see out there is one lone, I don't know if that's a seagull or a pelican.
Fort Macon is at the north end of the island and draws an annual average of 1.3 million tourists each year. Fort Macon fell to the Union Army early in the Civil War and was used as a refueling and repair depot. The fort was in active use through World War II.
At one time, all these cannons helped to keep safe the harbor out here. It's Bogue Inlet and Sound, and there are walkways and trails to go out to the waterway out there.
Okay, if you look down here along the lower level of the battlements, these are all gun placements. This fort was at one time just bristling with cannons.
Yeah, they were protecting something. They weren't sure what, but at the time.
Well,
yeah,
depended on when it was. Stood to protect the South from General Burnside, I guess was, and then the Spanish-American War, and then the World War II.
Yeah, they said they saw a lot of German U-boats out there in World War II, and they were served mostly as a deterrent. They really didn't sink anything, but it kept them from coming in closer. This looks like where they kept their storage stuff. It said salt, vinegar, rice. Here would be the kitchen area where people will come in to eat.
We had to cross yet another bridge to get off Emerald Isle and head for the North Carolina Maritime Museum.
We're in Beaufort, North Carolina. It's about 25 miles, I guess a little north of our campground, right at the edge of Emerald Isle. So we decided to go visit the North Carolina Maritime Museum. Lots of different things here in the Maritime Museum. Quite a few kids here today because it's Martin Luther King Day, so off from school. And here's a cool looking boat right here. Look at that. And a big fish hanging up here. Been In this museum, they also have a big library. You could look up things on different kind of boats and ships, the Coast Guard and pirates. Like I said, you could do some hands-on stuff here, and John's going to make some footprints in the sand. What do you got there, John?
This one's a deer.
Oh, okay. What else you got?
My shoe.
Oh, you're so silly.
In more of a living museum type setting, we were lucky enough to see some other relics from the past when a herd of wild horses wandered into view. Nobody knows for sure, but it's believed these are descendants of horses the Spanish brought to North America 500 years ago. There are an estimated 400 of them in different herds scattered along the barrier islands of North Carolina. And that brings our trip to Cedar Point to a pastoral close. We're glad you could be with us, and as always, we'll see you down the road.